No game is more associated with nostalgia than RuneScape. If you were young in the early 2000s, then you most likely at least heard of this game. You might have even sunk a ton of time into it, like myself. It was easy to play, easy to access, and probably most importantly, it was easy on your computer. There are so many great things about RuneScape, and what the developers, Jagex, did to pack the game full of content is amazing. They truly put their hearts and souls into this browser-based game. However, one thing about RuneScape that I think is underrated is the music. I know many players actually mute the sounds when they play. I'd like to talk about RuneScape music today, and why I think some players missed out on one of the most atmospheric soundtracks that I have ever heard. Before we get into the main part of the video though, I'd just like to ask that if you enjoy what you watch today, I would be really happy if you subscribed so you can watch my next video. If you've already subscribed, thank you. Now, let's get into it. If you played RuneScape, then you've probably listened to music from the beginning areas. I think RuneScape music really shines in these starting zones. Tutorial Island is literally the first place that the player sees after getting in game, and you actually get a great track to accompany the tutorial. After finishing the tutorial, you're going to arrive in a town called Lumbridge, and you're going to hear a variety of welcoming songs that fit a starting zone extremely well. These songs that you hear at the start of your adventure really help immerse you into the world. This game is really well known for being a slow to progress grind for the most part. It's not about beating RuneScape. I don't even think you can beat RuneScape. The way you decide to play along the way is what matters in this game, and the music goes perfectly with that mindset. After messing around in the starting area for a while, you're probably going to make your way to one of the other towns north. If you wander north to Varrock, the track Expanse plays as you explore one of the biggest cities you can run into at the beginning of your travels. Throughout this town, the tracks will change depending on where you go. I think this town has some really great music. So other than the cities, there's some other areas with some pretty good music, and you're going to find yourself in a dungeon pretty quickly called the Stronghold of Security. It quizzes you on how to keep your account safe, and it's a pretty dated way to teach players account security, but I love the music in this area. RuneScape is an MMORPG, and it has PvP like other MMOs. There's an area pretty far north, even past the northern cities that you can travel to, and it's called the Wilderness. If you venture here, other players can attack you at will, and if you die, you'll lose almost all your stuff. As you can expect, there's a pretty fitting song to go along with this treacherous zone. Everybody who has played RuneScape starts out as free to play. You can explore a pretty big chunk of the map, but it's nowhere near the content that you get when you pay the monthly subscription to get full access to all the content. I think a lot of players like myself dreamed of one day becoming a member and seeing the true potential of RuneScape. When you finally do become a member, you enter a gate and you hear this music. Once you finally become a member, it's pretty overwhelming on the amount of content that you have access to. You can do everything, and the world is massive. You get access to like 100 quests, a ton of new skills, a ton of new areas to explore. But one of the more appealing places is a town. It's very far away, but it's called Arduin. And it has some pretty cool music when you finally make your way all the way across the map to arrive there. There are tons of quests and skill-based activities to explore there, and these tracks really bring me back to being a new member, trying to soak in all the new content. Just real fast, if you travel south of Arduin, there's a town called Yanel? I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's probably the final town that you're going to explore when you become a member. It's tucked away in the south area of the map, but we still have some pretty sweet music to get down on. One of the main ways that RuneScape stands out are quests. These aren't just basic fetch quests. Sometimes you can have these huge adventures where you travel all the way across the continent, meeting new characters and fighting huge monsters. In one of the most infamous quests, Underground Pass, the music is quite fitting. Lastly, I wanted to talk about the best and most legendary track in all of RuneScape. This song stands the test of time, and honestly, it stands above all. Years from now, I think children are going to sing hymns of this song to our great-great-great-grandchildren. And someday the human race will ascend with this song playing in the background when our energy converts into, orbs or something. No, but in all seriousness, I did want to mention the original theme song for RuneScape. It is the old version, and it's not the current theme when you log in, but a ton of songs take inspiration from this music track throughout the entire game. RuneScape is iconic, and I don't even need to tell you that. But the music is a representation of nostalgia. If you never listened to the music in this game when you played, maybe you should. I left out endless tracks that I wanted to include, but I didn't want this video to be like 3 hours long. There's like over 600 songs. The game has a song for every place and every situation. They're moody and immersive, and maybe most of all, each song triggers memories of when we were kids, embarking on our first adventure, not knowing what could possibly be in store for us. See you later.